Welcome to WSN News for February 20th, 2018. I am Mr. Anderson, and I am the voice of the WrittenSiNs Network. Today, we're going to go over some site improvements as well as the things that have happened on our site today. It's been a long coding day, so it's been kind of interesting. We're going to go over the the news stories like we do every night. Then we're going to talk about some site upgrades, and then we're going to, of course, end the show like we always do, talking about this week in indie comics. Before we start, if you guys have a Kickstarter that you want to add at tomorrow's show, Kickstarter Last Rights, let us know. We're doing Last Rights on Wednesday, and we are going to be able to add new Kickstarters into the show because we're not filming another Kickstarter talk till next Wednesday. So if you want your Kickstarter added, now's the time to act. See all the exits off the Comic Con Highway for February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. And we're going to tell you how we've improved the Comic Con Highway. As always, just for timing wise, we're going to skip all the Kickstarters unless there's some new news about it. So if you see us scroll by something, understand we're just moving past to get to all the information we can with you as quickly as we can. So you guys can go back to your day and check out WrittenSiNs for more details on the stories that you like. So we're going to head off. We added some Comic Cons today, and you guys are going to be seeing a good steady stream of Comic Cons being added for the next few weeks as we're bringing all the Comic Cons onto WrittenSiNs. I'll explain more about that in a few minutes. Speaking of Comic Cons, you have a Comic Con in the Midwest. That's this week. It's Raymond Hill. He's going to be in Milwaukee Comic Con February 24th. Also on February 24th in Maryland, you're going to have the Galactic Con with Robert Garr. Also, Savannah Comic Con is going to have me, this guy, Mr. Anderson, the 24th to the 25th. My table is going to be listed in just a little while. I believe, I don't want to speculate the wrong number, but check back and you'll see it, the number which it will be. In Florida, you have both Pensacon and you have the Revolution. Pensacon is going to have the amazingly talented duo of Jenny and Barry Gregory. They're going to be at Pensacon, which is a 3-day event goes from the 23rd to the 25th. The Comic Con Highway Florida exit for Gene Holly in cosplay therapy. They're going to be doing panels at the Comic Con Revolution. I was kind of sad I couldn't make it to that one, but I'm going to be in Georgia at the Savannah Comic Con. And you guys remember, this Georgia one was the one that we were advocating for with Kickstarter talk. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to an actual con I helped get funded on Kickstarter. How cool is that? Tommy Sharp says, I'm not going to that one. Which one, Tommy? Which one are you going to this week? The Geneva Convention. This book will be out in July. Michael Metlin is the artist, and Harold White is the writer. We look forward to seeing more about that. Salvagers, if you guys didn't ask your local comic shop to order it today, you might be in trouble. Go tomorrow quickly. See if they can put in a last minute order for Salvagers. Richard Rivera this is of course Bob Sally's. Then Richard Rivera has Saturday Bunny issue number 2 in this current previews. Dirk Manning has High Hose, and Mr. John Crawford is going to have Rochelle. I think it's issue 2. It might be issue 1. Either way, it's in the book. Tell him to look into it. Tommy Sharp says he's going to be at a Comic Con later in the month. It's pretty late in the month. Tommy, isn't this the last weekend for Comic Cons, technically, for this month? Attention, Earth Dwellers, there is something out of this world coming, something secretive. We're going to have to wait to see what it is, but it's by Blister creator Eric Cockrell and Gateway Runners Gene Holly. So we're going to have to wait and see. Speaking of waiting to see things that are better and cool, make better comics is something you guys can do in the meantime. It's a great site from Josh Dahl who helps creators learn how to craft and hone their skills. Super Cos views from Fort Lauderdale. It was Raven who portaled in. Art of the Day is brought to us by Lewis Davidson's Art from Captain Cannabis. Check it out today. Autism awareness and education needs your help to spread the message. How can you help? You can donate on, I believe it's Indiegogo, to their Optimus Prime trailer that they're going to use to get R4AU to go throughout the country. Please take time today and check it out and see if you can possibly donate to the Autistic Jedi. And if you really want to do something cool, buy yourself a sponsor spot on the trailer and be able to have your message travel the country with the R4AU unit, Autistic Jedi Mom, and Christopher who does all the amazing cosplay molding and accessories. He makes the costumes, so it's a really amazing family. And they're trying to go throughout the country to raise autism awareness. Throwback thread for Russell No T. He was one of the first ones to face the 7 deadly questions. And as we're doing these throwback threads, some of them don't have the pictures. That's because they were so long ago. We were using a completely different format. They didn't all have it. So it's kind of weird. Okay, big security warning for those who didn't get the message this morning. Basically, there is going to be, or there is not going to be, but there is this weird thing going around on Facebook where you get an inbox from a friend. It could be someone you know really well, and it goes your name, and it shows your profile picture in a video, and the video says Facebook. So you think, oh wow, I guess someone put me in a video. Let me check this out. You click it, and you get hacked. I was lucky enough that I think I avoided it when I clicked it because I saw something was wrong, and then I did some stuff to try to avoid it. I think I've been clear, but if you see anything abnormal for me, and I know someone made the joke that everything for me is abnormal, so I made the joke back. If you see something normal that I wouldn't normally do, uh, let me know at WrittenSiNs@yahoo.com, and I'll deal with my Facebook. I think I'm in the clear, but some of our friends aren't. I know at least 10 creators who got hacked, so be careful. Money's getting stolen. Bad things are happening. Watch your bank accounts. Throwback thread. Find these 7 creators on Twitter to destroy. This is an interesting idea. Definite weird interview, but it was well worth reading. I kind of dug it. This is a Mr. Anderson review where he is the one interviewed at Paradise City. It was kind of weird to be on the other side of it. The guy doing the interview was like, "You have a minute and 30 seconds." And I'm like, "Okay," and I nailed it. Minute and 30 seconds. And he looked at me. He's like, "Okay, give me a little bit more." He's like, "No one ever comes in at a minute 30." It was fun. Great guy. Happy to be there. They were great group. You can check out their links within the link to there today. And that is it for the WSN news for today. As you guys can see, I didn't have a lot of time. I was dealing with the Facebook stuff, and I was dealing with a lot of site upgrades. And we're going to talk about some of those site upgrades in just a second now, as a matter of fact. Before we go to this week in Indie Comics, let's go to live Kickstarter. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. This is one of the site upgrades I've been working very diligently on. What I'm trying to do is walk away from Opinion Stage. I have nothing negative to say about Opinion Stage. I've heard that some people had some load issues. Some people on the phone said that Opinion Stage took too long to scroll. And, we pay to use Opinion Stage, and looking at it, we're trying to look, it's not cheap to run WrittenSiNs, and I'm trying to make it cheaper because I really can't afford the overhead costs. I know everyone wants me to run a Kickstarter, but before I run a Kickstarter where maybe we'll offer a T-shirt and maybe that's how we'll fund the site and do some other upgrades, I want to cut kind of the fat off the bone before I start asking for money, and I need to look at things that are important and not important. And Opinion Stage has been fun and it has helped in certain regards, but the new way that we've implemented the category system, um, I think really nails a brand new way of looking at it. For those who don't know what a category system is or what we're talking about, right down here you'll find sinful categories. We now have, I think, going on 40 categories that bring you some very different things like spoken sins, which I'm dying to do another one. It's been a long couple of months. I miss doing it. Uh, I got to arrange one as soon as possible. 7 Deadly Questions, Victor Dandridge, who is one of our featured creators. And it just goes on. And now you can have northern exits. And we're going to talk about the importance of northern exits in just a second. And then free comic book day. So this is the wave of the future for our site. It's gotten so big. I mean, we have a giant library now. It has become something big and impressive, and I want to kind of use the tools at our hand. And the category system is a really cool thing, so I'm excited. I'm excited to be bringing it to you in a new fashion. I spent the better part of the winter redoing a lot of the categories to make it easier for you. So now you guys can see what Kickstarters are live over here with the KS Live button that I added. Now that's basically the same thing as This Week in Indie Comics. It just removes some of the other things, so it's not drastically different. What is different, and I talked about this on the Comic-Con Highway Exit show today, is this the Comic-Con Exits? It's this week's exits conventionscene.com, northeastern exits, midwestern exits, southern exits, western exits, and then the southern's even got a Florida extension, and the WrittenSiNs exits. So now what this is going to wind up doing, and we had a little redirect problem, hoping it doesn't pop back up. All right, cool. I tried to do something cool, it didn't work. Couldn't redirect the way I wanted it to. But what you can do is it redirects into this, which is kind of cool. So now you get to see all these different, for this is all this week's stuff. So that's really, really cool, where we're going to be housing them all. And the billboard program will still work, where people making individual billboards will be featured in This Week in Indie Comics, while everyone else will not be. But the awesome thing about this is that as I begin to add these to the site, as I add them, I can pre-program them to go off the Monday before their con, and then I can have it go off the first day of the con. So now as creators are telling me where they're going to be, and I add it to the site, unlike Opinion Stage, where when we add it to the site, it kind of just lingered there and someone had to go get it. This I can have automatically emailed to other people. It can be sent out. We can add it today, and in July, it'll suddenly pop back up and be a reminder of everyone that week. So every Monday, there'll be some reminders, maybe even not on Mondays, because Monday's so far away from the weekend. And Mondays are weird. Everyone's weird on Monday. I'll do it on Wednesdays. I just made up my mind. Wednesdays, hump day. Because then typically Thursdays does start some cons, and we'll do it Wednesdays. Let's say we'll do it on Saturday early morning. So, of course, if it's a one-day con, I'll keep that in mind. But we'll do what we got to do to make it work for everybody. But it's exciting, this new program. We're going to be able to house everything. We're going to be able to use it more. I can tag it. I can move it, put it in different categories. It's easier for you guys. And that's what it is. It's about making the experiences easier. Now you can always just look. And mind you, we have a lot to add. You guys will see a lot added in the next couple weeks. I'm not going to overwhelm it and do a lot. I'm just going to slowly bring it on. And when I bring it all on, we'll just have it here. And that'll be pretty cool. So let's just say that you live in the western exits, and the first thing that some people might be is, well, what are the western exits? And that's a good question. If you didn't know, the United States is actually broken up into we don't have any cons. One downside: if you don't have a con loaded, it won't work. So let's go up here to the southern exits, and I'll explain the different categories. So if you're curious what they are, you could look up how we're segregated, not segregated, but postally broken apart, I think is the word. I don't know the exact term that they use to break the United States up into these categories, but I'll show you by going into one of these exits. So we'll go here, Savannah Comic Con. And as it loads, you guys will see the exits. Oh, I don't have it. Of course, it's the one I used that doesn't show it, right? All right, so let's do the southern exits. Actually, Florida exits might be better because the Florida's got a couple of different logos. So here we go. All right, so we'll do this one because I know I just upgraded all these today. And this is what I was doing, is I was adding some stuff. And that went the wrong place. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so bottom here, you see Welcome to Florida. And then you see that sign right there? That explains. In the South, we have Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, and so on. For every thread where we're going to do a region, because you'll see right up here, the first thing it says is Comic-Con Highway, where we are, which is Florida exit, and then it'll have Mr. Anderson. So now, since it's in Florida, I don't have to say anything more. Maybe I'll start putting, because this is new to me too, so I'm making adjustments. Since Florida's so big, maybe I'll put the town here. So this would be in Fort Myers. So, I'll do Fort Myers. Now, the cool thing is that when I make this change, and I'll show you guys. So we're going to do right now. You're going to see me update it. You guys are going to see the naked part. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put Florida exit Fort Myers. So now that's the area of Florida where the show is going to be. Fort Myers. We'll put a comma. So now, check this out. Remember I was telling you about the different categories? See all that tagging I do right there? Those are the different categories that I can instantly tag it to. You guys can see cons and stuff like that. Cons has gotten very ambiguous. I just want to be able to have a list of cons that people can see, so I like to have it there. So now I updated it here, right? So now you saw me just update it, and I'm going to show you the reach that it has. Okay, so we just updated it. Let's go over here. Let's do the south. So we're going to do southern exits, right? Now this is the cool catch of doing this. All right, so you should watch me just do it. It would be in the Florida area, right? But look at that. Here it is, Fort Myers. So I'm going to be, integrating and doing more of this cool stuff. Uh, I'm going to be coding it a little bit as we go. It's going to be perfected. This is a day one thing. I had to clean up a lot. I had to clean up a lot of stuff, a lot of stray stuff to get this to work. And I suggest going to convention scene. We might still use it for some things, but we just can't afford to throw money at it. So that's why we're walking away from it. I have nothing but nice things to say about the site. It was pretty user friendly, but it's time for us to bring everything under one roof, and that's what we're going to do. And that's my nerding out about this upgrade. So we're going to move on to this week in Indie Comics. So this week in Indie Comics, we're going to talk about Comic Con Highways exit for Jenny and Barry Gregory, who will be at Pensacon on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Go check them out. WSN special. It's time to give Wizard World a second look. Click on the link to find out why. We're going to give last rights to the new ones today. Now the video is inaccurate right now, but if you click on the link, you will see the comic books that we're going to be talking about tomorrow on last rights. Autism awareness and spreading the message. We talked about the trailer, but we didn't talk about how you can get a patch to go with your trailer donation. That's right, you can get a patch. The autism awareness is about education and acceptance, educating the public about acceptance, especially needs children and their value. Most autistic children and adults don't communicate or socialize the way that typical individuals do. Autism awareness R4AU attempts to break the barrier and help kids connect. They need a voice, and we give them one. They're our future. And remember to support Kickstarters, and when you're doing that and helping indie comics out, it only takes a single dollar. What can a dollar do? Why, what a great question. $1 can show support, attract attention, help fund projects, support indie creators, and help create new worlds. Now, while you're creating your Kickstarter, you're going to want to have a great source material to help you build a Kickstarter. Why not get a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding? Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, written by Madeline Holling Rising, now available on Kickstarter. Princess Warrior #1, Cinderella, Snow White, and Hyde Cinderella, Cavalry General, Snow White, Ninja Archer, Hyde the Dark Elf, first issue with the appearance of Cowgirl and Nega Chomp. Ghost Assassins #1, a supernatural suspense comic. I see dead people walking around like regular people. They see me too. They have questions, mainly why did I kill them? Prospects 1 through 2, print run, two mad scientists support a 150-year battle within the town of Ridgeville. A 30-year-old slacker must put a stop to them. Check it out now. Poppy and Poe, second issue. The new fantastic issue is packed with a fantastic new story by Eric Gagahan, kill cover by Jamie Primack. Into the Suck is the Keith Thomas Legacy Project. It is the second book, and it's highly anticipated. Ursula's found her paycheck, but will cashing it in be a real danger? Ancient Days #2. This is print copies of the second issue of the 8-bit, 4-part, cel-shaded action fantasy magnet, Ancient Days. Boston Metaphysical Society, The Scourge of the Mechanical Men, Gainesville Woods, and Tesla in a race to save Boston from a mysterious disease that turns human beings into machines. 5 Seconds, Volume 2. What would you do if you could see 5 seconds into the future, and how will Jake use his gift when he meets a girl who can hear his thoughts? Impossible Tales of the Last Pit. Stop TPB, a comic series that dares to ask what if Area 51 is in fact just a convenience store for aliens. Now collected for you swells. Crazy 9 graphic novel anthology riveting comic. Crazy 9 is a new drug on the streets, requiring the ultimate sacrifice in order to gain the power of the subconscious. Simon Blood, Volume 2. Welcome to Simon Blood, a graphic novel by Gina Carlo and Favalu Caracuzo. Multi Larceny is a science fiction comic of infinitive potential multi larceny one shot comic, a crime story with a science fiction twist. Heroes, victims, villains, connected in a race of time and space. Kaiju Gods is a comic book anthology of 14 stories, 180 pages, with over 40 creators and all original kaiju content. Mentor Search, the third book of the Fetish Babies franchise. Because it's the third book, it's our third date with readers, so it's time to get freaky. And Barbara isn't looking to be saved, she is looking to be taught. But will Bruce say yes to being her mentor? Can can Barbara regain her fetishes? You'll have to go to Kickstarter to find out. And that's the end of our show. And at the end of every show, we like to take a moment and ask you to check out the Veterans Wife on Facebook and see how you can support veterans today. Thank you to all veterans. We truly appreciate your service. We would like to give an extra special thank you to the veterans that don't want to be recognized. The silent stoic veterans for the horrors they have seen in war is to them nothing to be thanked for. They don't put it out there for the world to know, for they are now truly struggling, for they are now battling their own war here at home. You are not alone. You are loved and appreciated. You will always be a hero, even if you refuse the title. Thank you for tuning into WSN News for February 20th, 2018. Please tell us what you think of the recent site upgrades and tell us how we can make your user experience better by sending us an email to writtensins@yahoo.com, or better yet, reach out to us on our Facebook group, Written Sins Network, the advocating soapbox for indie comic book creators. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same channel.